السلام عليكم ورحمة الله تعالى وبركاته. أخوتي مرحبا بكم، عدنا إليكم بلايف آخر، لايف اليوم خاص very special لايف مع أخونا مو حيدر المناصر المعروف لأرسنال. الكل تعرفوه اللي كان في قناة AFTV. وعلى بالنا صرا مشكل من بعد. دوك نحكيو كاع على الأمور، نحكيو على الأرسنال، نحكيو على السيزون، على أرتيتا، على النورث لندن ديربي كذلك نحكيو عليه بدون إطالة، ما نطولوش خاطش مو عنده بيبي صغير راهو معاه وليدو صغير إذا سمعتوا العياط اعرفوا بلي وليدو صغير. مو السلام عليكم.
Walaikum salam, Salim. How are you?
I'm good to have you on, man. Finally, it's been a long time in the making.
Yeah, absolutely. No, it's nice. It's very nice to be on.
Yeah, thank you, Mo. It's my pleasure. It's a great honor for me to have you on. I wasn't sure you would like to come on, but we got you on, so that's really nice of you.
Salim, tell me why? Why would you think that I wouldn't want to come on?
I don't know, brother. You're famous. No, I'm just joking. I know you're a busy man. You got a lot of stuff to do. I got two kids myself, so it's not easy. I know how it is. As I said, it wasn't easy to arrange it, but we did it finally.
Yeah.
We go straight ahead to some questions. Obviously, Mo, you're an Arsenal fan. Can you just talk a little bit about how the story started with Arsenal?
Yeah, it's an interesting one, because I've got a really bad memory. A lot of my friends and family, they just know my memory is really bad. So I have to be quite organized in my life. I have to put everything into a calendar entry and this and that and have to-do lists. So I can't remember exactly when I fell in love with Arsenal, but I remember in 1993, Arsenal played Sheffield Wednesday in the FA Cup and the League Cup finals in that season. And I was desperate for Arsenal to win, and I loved Ian Wright. Now, so that's my earliest memory, but I can't remember when I actually started to love them. Obviously, I didn't love them just then. At that point, I was emotionally invested. So I don't know, but I think it was just to do with Ian Wright, and I just something got me, and I wish I could turn back time and understand what it was. But yeah, so from 1993, I remember that's when I really remember caring. And then 94, we won in Copenhagen, And then I remember my first ever game was actually in 97 when I was 13. I went to see Arsenal versus Bolton Wanderers, and Ian Wright broke the goal scoring record. So I've got that ticket from that day with my surname on it, signed by Ian Wright. It's up in my house, So they're my early memories with Arsenal.
Yeah, great stuff, man. The first game you attended, Mo?
Yeah, that was Arsenal Bolton, 13th of September 1997. Arsenal won 4-1. It was a lovely sunny day. Just for me, it was perfect. It's still, to this day, it's the favorite game I've ever been to because my idol, like my hero, Ian Wright, breaking that goal scoring record, it was just amazing. So, yeah, that's the first game and still my favorite game.
Yeah. كيفاش قال لكم اول يعني السبب الرئيسي اللي باش ولا مناصر الارسنال هو يان رايت. وراهو مناصر وفي منذ 97 اول مباراه ضد بولتون. يعني راهو قديم واحد انايا. مو the best and the worst memory as an Arsenal fan.
Oh God, the worst memory I would just say Champions League final.
Me too.
I have never ever been able to watch the highlights of that game, the replay of that game. Anytime I see that come up on my timeline or anywhere, I scroll. I can never ever watch that. That just was horrible for me. And the best memory has to be the season where we went invincible because, it wasn't just the fact that we went invincible. That was very special. That era, the football that we were playing, the confidence that you had as an Arsenal fan, the arrogance you had as an Arsenal fan was just something special. So for me, the culmination of that amazing style of play, the way we used to carry ourselves and going that season unbeaten, which Arsene Wenger said a year before and he was mocked for it. For me, that was, and I love the fact that my greatest memory as an Arsenal fan isn't just one game. It was a whole season. It wasn't just when we won the league. Like, it wasn't just Tony Adams' moment against Everton when he scored the goal, we won 4-0. That was one moment. My favourite moment went on and on and on and on, a whole season. So I'm blessed.
حكيت مو سقسيته برك سألت مو على أجمل وأسوأ الذكريات، كيما العديد منا هي أسوأ ذكريات في الشامبيونز ليج، نهائي الشامبيونز ليج ضد برشلونة، والأحسن يعني ذكريات قال لك الانفنسبلز، it has to be the invincibles. Mo, everybody knows you through obviously AFTV or Arsenal Fan TV. Personally, for me, you were the best one. Um, Especially the interviews after the games. I had the chance to meet you personally during the Basel game in I think 2016 or 17. I had the chance to meet you at the Emirates Stadium. We had a quick chat. I don't know if you still remember, but you meet up a lot of people. But I really liked the chat with you. Talking about AFTV, everybody knows obviously that was an issue, and you had to speak up, and you had to talk about what really happened. If you can just explain briefly what happened and what was the reasons that you quit AFTV.
Yeah, well, for me, what happened was not unique. What happened to me when it came to Palestine and
Yeah,
showing any sort of solidarity with Palestine, I've seen numerous times before. Anyone who does that, you get cancelled. You get almost
censored.
pressured to the extent you are not motivated to speak up for Palestine.
Mm.
And it's quite difficult for people because, for me, I don't really see that I lost anything big in, doing something for AFTV. It wasn't my livelihood. I can still feed my family,
Yeah,
Other people have to make that decision, and there's a lot more at stake for them. So actually, for me, it wasn't a big deal, but it was about the principle that when I wanted to, let me get one thing straight. I never, ever tried to talk about Palestine on AFTV. I didn't go on and say, oh, yeah, it was a really good game today, and the United Nations have got resolutions against Israel. We should put sanctions. It wasn't that. I
yeah,
was talking about Arsenal. I was only wearing something. The first thing I wore was a badge. They didn't want that because they felt it was political because it said Free Palestine. So I crossed out the word free. And then
yeah,
after that, it was just a hoodie that just said Palestine.
yeah,
And when that is an issue, just wearing the name of a country, you realize that actually this is disgusting,
mm,
And other
yeah,
people, they would wear something that says Nigeria, wear something that says Turkey.
yeah,
So all of these things, I just thought to myself, I'm not comfortable with the inconsistency that they were, carrying with them. So I just said, I argued with Robbie about this so many times. I really did. And the time where it changed for me in my mind was just how me and you right now, I'm at home, I'm recording with you. I was at home, and this was during the COVID crisis where we weren't going to games. I logged on to do a fan cam with Robbie, and he said to me, once I logged on to this, he said to me, oh, you're not wearing that again. I can't do the interview if you're going to wear that. And it was just my hoodie that just says Palestine. So
yeah,
I was really upset. And I said to him, if you think I'm going to take this off to do the interview with you, then you can get lost. I'm not doing it.
yeah,
And then he was like, all right, fine, let's just do the interview. And I did the interview. And after the interview, I said to him, next time I don't want to hear any nonsense from you about what I choose to wear. Okay? I don't want to hear that. So if you're going to give me that, then don't bother. And but that really upset me that day, Salim, because that was to me pure discrimination. I could have worn, an Algeria hoodie. He wouldn't have said anything. I could have worn an England or a Jamaica hoodie. He wouldn't have said anything. But Palestine, you say something. So I didn't like that. And then that always stayed with me. It really, really annoyed me. And for me, it changed my relationship with him. And then when everything happened with Israel and Palestine, I called him out on it publicly. And for me, I'm not the kindest person when it comes to people acting in wrong ways. Like if you're going to do something, then have the courage to do it publicly as well. That's what integrity is about,
yeah,
So when I called him out publicly, he didn't like it and he kicked me off the channel. And so be it, man. For me, it was a choice between Palestine and trying to protect my slot on AFTV. And the slot on AFTV was never that important to me in my life
yeah.
to rank above Palestine.
حكيت على بواحد المشكل كيما سمعتوا. ندير لكم كويك ترانسليشن يعني ترجمة صغيرة. المشكل اللي صرا معاهم مع AFTV مع روبي بكل بساطة. مو كان يدافع عن القضية الفلسطينية، كيما كاع حنا ندافعوا عليها، وكان يلبس الهودي ديالو مكتوب فيه بالستاين. روبي قال له في أحد يعني الانترفيوز قال له ما تجوش معايا، لازم تنحي هذاك الهودي تاع بالستاين، سينو ما تجوش معايا. المهم ما عجبوش الحال، قال له كيفاش نحي الهودي، يعني عنده الحق. ما كانش دا كاتب حاجه سياسيه ولا ما عنده حتى علاقه بالسياسه. هو برك يدافع عن القضيه الفلسطينيه، وراه المشكل تلبس هودي مكتوب فيه بالستاين. روبي قال له لا لا، وما تفاهموش، وهذه هي صرا يعني الكونفليكت هذاك ما تفاهموش. و موح جبد روحه من القناه. آه، More actually, just between brackets, I'm really proud to be Algerian because Algeria actually is the first country ever to recognize the state of Palestine, not the authority, but the state of Palestine. This is only for people, for their knowledge. 1988, November 1988, Algeria was the first country to recognize the state of Palestine. خاوتنا على بالكم الجزائر أول دولة تعترف بدولة فلسطين وليس السلطة الفلسطينية، دولة فلسطين. الجزائر أول دولة تعترف بها في نادي الصنوبر في 88. ونفتخروا بهذا الشيء كجزائريين. We've seen some players as well, supporting the Palestinian cause. And to be fair, these players, they deserve credit, like Paul Pogba. We've got some pictures here. We've seen Pogba. We've seen Hamza Choudry with Fofana, Wesley Fofana. Obviously, Riyad Mahrez as well. So these players, for me, they really deserve credit.
And Mohamed El Neni as well.
And Mohamed El Neni as well. Actually, he got. I got the tweet here.
Perfect.
And we all know the company. If I'm not mistaken, it's Lavazza, who's one of the biggest sponsors of Arsenal Football Club. Didn't really like it because of the tweet. It's bigger than a conflict between two countries. We all know there is a lot of things going on. There is lobbyism. There is a lot of stuff. But anyway, when it comes to Palestine, just my last word. It's not about. It's just about a country who's taken another country from other people. For me, it's not because I'm Muslim or I'm Algerian. Or everybody knows that there is apartheid. It's apartheid. Even the United Nations described it. The humanitarian organization described it as an apartheid. So it's not my words, but the official organization.
Exactly that. It's human rights organizations who every single day, this is their job to identify these things and to try and help these people that are oppressed. It's not you and I making this up. We're not causing mischief here. And in a way, it doesn't make any difference to our day-to-day lives. We're doing this because it's the right thing to do. Just how people will support Black Lives Matter or the Me Too movement, for example. It's just about doing the right thing.
Exactly. Let's move on to back to the Arsenal. The appointment of Mikel Arteta. What do you think, Mo? I met you personally. I remember some people were, I was reading some comments, and I know you weren't Wenger out, neither Wenger in. You were really, how do you say? I remember word by word. You said, I wanted Wenger out, and you told me when we met at the Emirates Stadium after the Basel game, Champions League. You said it could be worse. That's what you said. It could be worse. So in a way, it's gotten worse because after Wenger left. What do you think of the appointment, and do you really think the club has planned a post Wenger?
I think post Wenger, it obviously hasn't gone how he wanted it to go. I truly believe a lot of people expected an instant improvement with Arsene Wenger. They had got so used to the standards Arsene Wenger had set that they thought when his standards slipped that anyone can come in and do what he used to do. And I was always kind of a bit more maybe worried that it wouldn't be like that. And so it has transpired. But when I used to say to people it could be worse, that was never a case of because it could be worse, we shouldn't replace him. I was happy that at the time that he left, that it was the right time. But I always used to say to people that when you say Wenger out, you're not thinking of the entire conversation. You're only thinking of half of the conversation.
That's true.
And, if we truly, truly love and care about this club, I feel like you have to think about things properly. I know that we don't make the decisions, but I would hate it if the people that make the decisions were as sort of light touch in kind of their thought process as the fans. Because when you're saying Wenger out, fine, Wenger's gone, what next? Who's it going to be? You have to appoint a new manager. Is it going to be someone world class, or is it going to be someone that, as I said to you that day, it could be worse? And under Unai Emery, it got worse. Under Mikel Arteta, it's got worse. So I always used to say to people, when they used to say Wenger out, or whether they used to say Emery out, whether they say Arteta out, that have the full conversation. Who do you realistically think we can get? And when it came to Arsene Wenger, I was always very reluctant because I thought to myself, I think that it's going to be very hard to find someone who will definitely do a better job than Arsene Wenger. Unfortunately, now I don't feel like that when it comes to Mikel Arteta. I feel like it will be very easy to find someone that can do a better job than Mikel Arteta, because unfortunately Mikel Arteta isn't doing the greatest job in the world. Hopefully he turns it around, but 8th last season, and how last season went, I thought it was awful.
But do you think it was purely financial, the appointment of Arteta? I mean, because when you see, we could have gotten a better manager. Managers are here. I don't wanna believe or buy into the narrative. We can attract big managers because I believe, as an Arsenal fan, me Salim, that we are a big club. We have a great stadium. We are one of the biggest teams in London. So for me, we are an attractive club. So I don't want to believe when people say, "Oh, we're not going to attract any big managers." So do you think the choice by appointing Mikel Arteta was purely financial? Because let's be honest, the club is not as it used to be financially, because it's been struggling even before COVID, because we're not qualifying to Champions League football.
I don't think it was just financial, because I think that managers, when you think about football and you think about the cost of certain things, positions or coaches, scouts, managers in football, managers for me are some of the best value for money ways of spending a club's resources. You don't pay a transfer fee, and when it comes to the wages, yes, they can be very, very well paid, but let's say £3 million over the course of a season is not a big deal when you consider how important a manager is. Now, you look at Thomas Tuchel, for example, and what the job that he's done at Chelsea, or Jurgen Klopp, or Pep Guardiola, whatever that might be. You look at these managers and you think to yourself, even if someone offered to do the job for free, you'd still rather pay them for the job that they're doing. And a European qualification, that sort of difference, can make a manager's appointment worth every penny. So I don't think that the club were trying to save money on Mikel Arteta. But what I do think it was that the club were basically maybe struggling potentially. The only reason why a manager would say no to Arsenal is because they wouldn't buy into the vision. They'd say, how much money are you going to give me for my transfers? What are your ambitions? What do you want me to achieve for you? And then someone like an Allegri or a Thomas Tuchel, I think they might just think, oh no, this is a very...
Okay, I'm gonna make quick translation meanwhile. موح باسكو عنده وليد وراه معاه راه وحده. هضرنا على ميكال ارتيتا، قلت يعني اسكو جابوه لاسباب ماليه، لانه ما كاش يعني في الماركت. لان لما تشوف، انا دائما نقولها لكم، نامن باللي حنا نادي كبير، رانا في لندن، عندنا ملعب كبير، عندنا ملعب رائع، يعني ما كاينش من هذيك تاع مدرب كبير ما يجيكش ولا. هو قال لك ماشي غير الاسباب الماليه، كاين مدربين، ولكن النادي هما يشوفوا فيه بلي هي از ذا رايت مان، هما يشوفوا بلي هو اللي قادر يعني يقوم بالمهمه هذه. انا مانيش نشوفها هكذا على كل حال. هضرنا على الابوينتمنت تاع ارتيتا و Mo, a quick comparison with Emery, because people are so adamant to give time to Arteta, but Emery, when I look at Emery's number and Arteta, Emery got sacked for less. Let's be honest. He got, yeah, everybody was after his case, but it's
But
just the thing.
Arteta won the FA Cup. I think that was a big
Yes,
thing.
yeah,
And also, I think with Emery, do you know what? People, I thought they treated him unbelievably badly.
yeah,
Listen, Salim, I am the son of a man that moved countries and started living life in a tongue, in a language that wasn't native to him.
mm,
So I appreciate the struggles that come with that. But with Emery, his efforts in English that I thought were very brave, actually. Even we've seen Bielsa, Leeds manager, use a translator for a long, long time. Emery, from day one, tried to do all his press conferences in English and did a really good job. But because he wasn't as easy to listen to and as like a designer manager in his style, I feel like he got a lot of disrespect. And all of
that's
these
true.
things I feel like have fed into the fact that he got less time and had less patience. People just didn't warm to him. And I find that quite sad.
Yeah,
But with Arteta, having won the FA Cup, having played from the club, having been this Pep Guardiola disciple, that's given him a lot more favour with people. And I hear what you're saying. I don't think it's necessarily valid. But listen, I think Emery should have gone when he went.
yeah,
And I also think that Arteta is very, very lucky to still be in a job.
yeah,
So, I'm not saying that they were wrong about Emery, but what I'm saying is that perhaps you can make a case that they were wrong to stick with Arteta. But
yeah.
we will see whether Arteta can turn it around, and the board will deserve credit in that case.
yeah. حكينا كما قلت لك على ارتيتا، قلت له انا قال لك على يعني على ارتيتا امري كان لازم يروح، ولكن كانت فيها، انا نشوفها بلي كانت فيها شويه حقره. مموح قال لك يعني اندايركتلي بلي كانت فيها شغل شويه حقره على جل من بينها اللغه، ما كانش يتقن اللغه. ارتيتا عنده شويه هذيك تاع يعرف يهضر، كما نقولوا حنا سي ان بو بارلور، حنا دائما نقولها لكم يعرف يهضر. هو مدرب محظوظ كما قال لك، باسكو راهم واقفين معاه الاداره، بصح هذا الحد نشوفوا شحال راح يقعد. Mo, I want to talk about the new signings. We go through, every single one of them shortly. Shall we start with Tomiyasu? What do you think of him?
I'm glad you started with Tomiyasu because
Yeah,
he's
for me.
brilliant. He looked so good so far, and that was one position we really, really needed to strengthen. But the problem is, I've seen a lot of people talking about Tomiyasu, and there was this famous piece of punditry on Sky Sports where the Sky Sports presenter, his name was Kave, he was basically saying a lot of Premier League clubs were offered Tomiyasu, none of them wanted him. And he was saying that Tomiyasu is not a right back, he's not a centre back, no one really knows where he plays. And now people are kind of like retweeting that, sharing that as if it's proving him wrong. It's only been 2 games.
Yeah.
Nothing has been proved. I remember one example where I'm sure you guys will remember this, given this is Arsenal and Algeria. I'm going to name a Moroccan player who, when he came to Arsenal, he scored 8 goals in his first 8 or something like that. Marwan Shamak. He did so well, but he turned out not to be very good. So we have to give it more time with Tomiyasu, but he looks good so far.
Yeah. هدرنا على تومياسو، عجبو موح بزاف. انا عجبني بزاف تومياسو صراحه. ليا بور لو مومون هاد المباراتين اللي عملهم ولا 3، اول لقاء ضد نورويتش، المباراتين اللي عملهم دار مباراه قويه، يعني قنع. مو كونتينيو. بن وايت.
Ben White, look, I think we overpaid for Ben White. Absolutely overpaid for Ben White. And the problem that I have with Ben White is that he's not kind of like a amazing defender. He's a very good footballer, but I just worry that his aerial presence, other things, like that proper defending, really putting your body on the line, is he going to be that guy? But for a manager to really have no excuses, he needs to be backed with the personnel to complement his system.
Yeah.
And that's what this signing was. So Ben White right now, he hasn't been as good as what I liked. But again, if we're going to say about Tomiyasu that it's early days and we can't give him too much praise, then also we have to say that about Ben White. It's early days, we can't give him too much criticism. I'm sure Ben White will come good, and I hope that in 2 years' time, will be talking about Ben White and saying what a bargain he was because he's a really, really good player.
I hope so. حكينا على بين وايت ثاني، قلت له بين وايت يعني شافو قال لك خلصنا عليه بزاف، يعني ماشي الثمن ديالو ما يستاهلش هذيك 50 مليون على حسب رأيه. أنا ثاني كنشوف بلي اوفر بايد، ولكن قال لك نتمنى إن شاء الله نشوفه ينجح. بيان سور حنا أي لاعب يجي لأرسنال نتمناوه ينجح، لأنه ماذا بينا يعني النادي ديالنا هدايا. ولكن مو هضر على واحد النقطة مهمة، هي الآخر الكرات في السما. ناقص شوية بين وايت شفناها، هذيك حاجة اللي شوية تقلّق. ولكن نتمناو المدرب هذا المدرب يخرج أحسن حاجة منه. آمم مارتن أوديغار
So Martin Odegaard, look, last season, what annoys me is that with football fans, right, either they say, oh, someone's amazing, or they say, oh, someone's rubbish. And Martin Odegaard, for me, was exactly the sort of player where people should have had balance. Because, yes, he's a good player. Yes, he did well for Arsenal, but he wasn't amazing, and he didn't make a huge difference. Yeah. He made a difference, but not a huge one. And it really frustrated me to hear people say, oh, Martin Odegaard's amazing, we should sign him above everyone else. And it also annoyed me to hear people saying, oh, Martin Odegaard's rubbish. Yeah. I think Odegaard is a very good player, but he does need to unlock a higher level to really kind of be a massive player at Arsenal. But certainly a very good addition to the squad. And I think he started this season off really well and is leading by example, both on and off the ball. So he's clearly been given a lot of faith by his manager, and I hope that he can repay that and be a great signing.
Yeah. حكينا على مارتين أوديغار، قلت له على واش رأيه، قال لك لاعب مليح ولكن ماشي هذاك اللاعب كيما الناس اللي كانت كاع يعني كيما نقولوا حنا تنفخ فيه. مازال ما شفناش. يعني شفنا كان اون الموسم اللي فات الارقام ديالو يعني ماشي حاجه كبيره صراحه، بسبب الاصابه ثانيك. ولكن نتمناو كما قال لك نعاودوا هذه الثقه اللي دارها فيه المدرب يعاود يبينها فوق الميدان هذا الموسم. مارتن أوديغار أنا نشوف يقدر يجي منه بزاف أمور كثيرة شخصيًا، ولكن لازم المانجر المدرب هو اللي يعرف كيفاش يخرج الأفضل من مارتن أوديغار. رامسديل
Yeah, with Aaron Ramsdale, I was very frustrated that we spent £24 million on a goalkeeper when we already have a decent goalkeeper in Bernd Leno. But that's not Ramsdale's fault. And I don't have any... there's nothing about Aaron Ramsdale that I dislike. I was happy for him. He was clearly very happy when he signed for the club. I just felt as though Arsenal could have spent their money in a way that would have boosted the starting 11, and helped us improve our league position. But with Aaron Ramsdale, so far, he's looked very good. And in the very early assessment, given that it's only been a few games, he looks like he's got better distribution than Bernd Leno. And again, this is something very crucial for Mikel Arteta's system. Ramsdale, with White ahead of him, is so important for Arteta to play his system. So with Aaron Ramsdale, I hope that he can be a great signing for Arsenal. And so far, he looks like he has got a lot of promise. The only thing I would say is that I wish Arsenal could have signed him with on a loan deal with an obligation to buy. So therefore, we had more money to be used elsewhere in the team this year. But, it is what it is. And I just think that he will be a good player. And I really like him as a person as well. So I'm happy that he's at Arsenal.
Yes. هضرنا على ارون رامسديل. حكينا على الامضاء ديالو كما قال لك صح. هذا ما خممتش فيها، هذيك كانوا قادرين يبدوا له على شكل اعاره مع احقيه ولا كشي يقولوا اوبليغاسيون باش يشروه الشراء. من هذه هي، والاخرين حبوا كاش شيفيلد. انا شخصيا رامسديل عجبني بزاف، عنده شخصيه، عنده كاريزما، تشوف مختلف تماما على لينو. وارتيتا مادام جابوه هو على بالو يعني باينه بلي طريقه تاع اللعب يلعب مليح برجليه، اللي يحب يخرج على اللعب ديالو، الخطه اللي يحب يلعبها، يعني يخرج الكره من عند الحارس ويطلع بها بين وايت ويجي طالع. يعني لاعبين اللي يلعبوا مليح برجليهم، ماشي غير كما يعني بحر في السماء ولا. Mo, you certainly you've certainly watched the Edu's interview. I was as a fan, I was a bit, not a bit, a lot disappointed, and I was fuming because like everybody, probably every Arsenal fan watched that interview. Um, what was it all about? Because when one of one of the hierarchy at the club talk about what did he say? He said that I don't want to talk about top four, top six, eight, or even 10th, which means we don't have any ambition. And mashallah, I uh, mashallah, we don't have any ambition. And what we playing for actually as a football club? Because when you say that, why do you make people pay a lot of money for the season ticket? Why you don't have any target for the season? You're not playing for anything. For me, that statement was just, it was shocking. And in a way, it shows that the standard at this football club has just slipped. What do you make of it more?
Yeah, I was very, very similar. I was very upset that a technical director at Arsenal can almost assume that he's so free of responsibility, so free of expectation that he can come out and make that sort of statement. He should not be of that opinion that he can come out with no promises. You don't have the luxury of having a job with zero pressure. This is a proper job, and with that comes proper expectation. And I expect you to show some courage in terms of what you expect. Even for him to say, I'm not even aiming for top 10. How how little courage to
Yeah.
not even do that. And what he's doing, he's taking away any sense of accountability. We can't judge him on anything when he doesn't give us anything to hold him to. So I was very upset with that. And I feel like what really surprised me is that you didn't have to do this interview. Why come out and do an interview optionally to give such a poor message? I didn't understand.
Even Jeff Reeves from Sky Sports, for me, it was I think he was spot on. He asked him some questions about, because he was saying like we need time. He told him that, but you don't have time in football. That's how it is in modern football. You see, that's the thing about this project and process. Uh, as a football club, as Arsenal Football Club, you can't talk about a project. We don't have time. Yes, we can talk about project, but you need results at the same time. You can't just talk about project because we are a big club. I'm sorry, you can talk about the process maybe at Sheffield or Burnley, but we are Arsenal Football Club. The thing that annoys me or even irritates me is just we're not even competing. We're not even competing. There's no competition. And that hurts me as an Arsenal fan. When I see Chelsea, when I look at Chelsea, we were supposed to be Chelsea. Like Chelsea, they are the way they are right now, like a winning team as a club. That's what we were supposed to be when we left Highbury. And we are not, unfortunately.
Yeah, I mean, it's just very, very sad to see because, we used we what I want to see Arsenal doing is winning league titles. What I would want the technical director to come out and say is, at the minimum, we'll be there. We'll be trying to compete. But the fact that he can't say that is realistic. I'm not saying come out and say that because we'd all say you're crazy. You don't know that we're not that good right now. But he should at least have some minimum standard. And his minimum standard was that he just wants to see the players play together when everyone's fit.
Yeah.
And you don't even get that luxury in football. There's no guarantees. Actually, do you know what? It's funny that we're having this conversation the day before a huge game like the North London, or a few days before a huge game like the North London Derby, and the team news today actually confirmed all players are available. So
for the first
here
time.
you go, Edu. This is what you wanted to see. Now let's see if we can go and beat Tottenham with this fully fit team. But yeah, listen, it's very upsetting to me to see in my own lifetime how far the standards have slipped. And this is purely for me down to the Cronkies. Even
Do you think, sorry, Mo, to cut you off, but do you think because of a lack of experience, because you could see it, you don't talk like that to media. Do you think there is a lack of experience? Because If I was a ticket holder, I'll be really upset because we paid the most expensive season ticket in the world
Yeah,
to
absolutely.
to listen to that. Yeah,
Yeah, I think it was a naivety, a lack of experience. But then, Talim, I always try and be fair. And I think to myself, when with a team like Arsenal, you come out and you're bottom of the league and you haven't won a single game, what can you possibly say that will make fans happy?
yeah,
You probably can't say anything, which
yeah,
again, for me, I think to myself, well, Edu, were you brave or were you stupid? Were you
yeah,
brave to come out and say, no, I'm going to face up to the fans, I'm going to talk to them, even though it's, the lowest we've ever been? Or were you just stupid to do so?
yeah,
I personally don't think it was the best idea. So I'd have to conclude that it was the latter, not the former. I think it was more stupid than brave to do this.
yeah.
And
Uh,
and also,
yeah.
the only reason why I think he did it is that he looked at our fixtures and he saw Norwich at home and thought, we should win the next game, so I'll do it. And I wonder, the fallout of that interview, had we not won the next two games, if it would have been much, much worse.
Yeah. And also, in the same context, Mo, the Carabao Cup game was not televised in any channel. As an Arsenal fan, I think it's the first time in history. I've never remembered all Arsenal games, as far as I remember, were televised. You always find an Arsenal game either on the dodgy stream or on Australian channel. But this time I was really disappointed, not because of the game, for me, because I think this shows how far we fall off, because you know we're not attractive anymore as a football club.
Yeah, I mean, it's really interesting. I mean, this is the obvious conclusion, what you're saying. This is the obvious conclusion that it's reflective of Arsenal right now.
Sorry,
I
what?
wonder,
Because one of my friend, he's in the chat, told me the other day, but the Leicester game was not televised neither. I told him, I'm sorry, we are not Leicester or Wycombe or whatever. We are Arsenal. I started supporting the club since 1996. There was always a game, even if it's a League Cup, Carabao Cup, call it whatever, Mickey Mouse Cup. There's always Arsenal on TV. Yeah, go ahead, Mo. Sorry.
yeah, the fact that people couldn't even find an illegal stream.
Yeah.
It was, listen, this made news. I received messages from some Arsenal fans in different countries saying, oh, I can't believe it, I can't watch the game. And people were shocked. Arsenal fans, they don't even look into it before. They just know. They just know they're going to be able to watch the game. So this was a shock. And I don't know if you heard, but there was one Arsenal fan on Twitter, with his
Just
phone at the
streaming the
game.
game.
He had tens of thousands of people watching it. But unfortunately, maybe you're right that it is reflective of Arsenal not having the same level of appeal. But I wonder if maybe broadcasters or whatever, maybe they have another reason that is different to that. I hope there is another reason, but
Yeah.
that's the only conclusion that I can reach as well. That Arsenal, they're just not the same.
Yeah. نديرو ترجمة خفيفة برك. هضرنا على الانترفيو تاع ايدو الكارثة، الانترفيو الكارثة ديالو اللي هضر فيها، قال لهم انا ما نحكيش على المرتبة الرابعة ولا توب 6 توب 8 توب 10. يعني ما كاش النادي هذا ما عندوش طموحات. يعني انت كيما ما عندكش طموحات وما عندكش كما يقولوا تارجت، على واش راك تلعب؟ انا حكيت لمو، قلت له انا لو كان جا عندي تيكت سيزون انا نزعف نتقلق، راح يغضبني الامر، لانه انا ندفع 1500 باوند في العام باش أنت تقول لي ما راح نلعب على والو. يعني كانت فيه شويه بزاف سذاجه، وانا نظن كانت فيه نقص الخبره، ما يعرفش يهضر. ما عرفش يهضر، ما تقولش هكذا للفانز. عمرك خاصه لما تكون عندك بوزيشن في النادي كيما هذه ما تقدرش تهضر هكذايا. وحكيت له ثاني، قلت له ما راكش تشوف بلي حنا كنادي رانا في منحنى يعني تنازلي. احسن مثال درتها في الفيسبوك المره اللي فاتت، هضرت عليها هذيك على مباراه الكاراباو كاب ضد ويمبلدون اللي ما كانتش متلفزه في اي قناه، واول مره في التاريخ منين شفا انايا الارسنال ما داروهاش بكل بساطه، لانه ما وليناش نتجلبوا القنوات، ولا ما وليناش يعني ارسنال لازم ما ننساوش هي براند. ويعني تشوف انت يدير مباريات اخرى ارسنال ما يديروش لاول مره، يعني امر يتاسف عليه الانسان وحتى اي مناصر، ماشي غير ارسنال. آم، We move on to the North London Derby. Very important game on Sunday. One of the biggest games of the season. I want to have just your thoughts on the game and obviously the starting lineup or your expectations. What do you think about the game? What do you
Listen,
reckon?
every single time we have a North London derby, I find myself saying, "No, this one." I say it's always big, but this one is especially big. And there's always a context. There's always a reason why this one is really, really big. And I'm going to say the same thing this year. This one is bigger than usual because both for Nuno and for Mikel Arteta, this is going to cause them a lot of hassle if they lose. Yeah. Now, Mikel Arteta, if he doesn't win this game, people are going to say, "What? We can beat Norwich, we can beat Burnley, we can beat West Brom, we can beat AFC Wimbledon." But when we play Chelsea, when we play Man City, when we play Tottenham, when we play even Brentford, we can't win. And people are going to lose patience very quickly if he doesn't go and win now. We've gone and won our last 3 games. We've got a tight defence. We haven't conceded, a goal in our last 3. The favourites tag is with Arsenal. And Mikel Arteta needs this. He desperately needs this result to kind of say, "Look, I can do the job." And if he loses, honestly, I really fear for him. And it could be like the beginning of the end for him. Yeah. And one thing that to consider is that with Arsenal and Tottenham in the league this season, when we've been beaten comprehensively. Tottenham, when they've been beaten, they've lost 3-0. Arsenal, when we've been beaten, 2-0, 2-0, 5-0. So then when you look at that compared to sorry.
It's all right, no problem.
You look at that and you look at when we've won our games, we've only ever won 1-0. Tottenham, Arsenal, between them have won 5 games in the Premier League this season. Each and every one of those victories has been 1-0. So I feel like these are 2 teams who are only kind of like just about getting by. And for that reason, I feel like it's going to be a very tight affair. The fear factor that will be there for the managers, the fact that we're not used to winning games by playing very well. I think the teams will be more scared to lose than they will looking forward to winning.
حكينا على نورث لندن ديربي المباراة اللي جاي مباراة مهمة يوم الأحد ضد توتنهام 5:30. قال لك يعني مباراة راح تكون صعبة للفريقين وللمدربين أرتيتا ونونو. لازم ما يخسروش، واحد فيهم لازم يخرج لأنهم راهم في وضعية صعيبة بزاف. وهذه هي وهدر على المباريات يعني قال لك عنده الحق يعني أوكي ربحنا ضد نورويتش ضد بيرنلي ولكن ما نقدروش نربحوا يعني الفوز ضد الفرق الكبرى ولا تقريبا شبه مستحيل. ولهذا راح تكون مباراة صعبة. ولكن نورث لندن ديربي ما تقدرش تعرف واش راح يكون. أنا ليا شخصيا راني متفائل لهذه المباراة خاصة بعد رجوع الجماهير. Mo, we go to the expected lineup. I got it here. I'm gonna put it on in a second. What do you think? I got Ramsdale, White, Gabriel, Tierney, Tomiyasu in the defense. Odegaard, Partey, Chaka. He will be there. We all know that Chaka is back. And I put Pepe, Aubameyang, Saka. Maybe we will see Smith Rowe on the left wing instead of Pepe, but it's pretty much that's the starting lineup. I would have loved to see Sambi Lokonga, but we all know it's not gonna happen, do we? You're on mute, mate. You're on mute, brother.
When you said you're going to put the expected lineup on the team, I was looking for 2 things. The first one is Granit Xhaka. Is he going to be in there? And the second one, who's it going to be? Aubameyang or Lacazette? And of course, there he is looking right at me right now, Granit Xhaka back in the team. And I think you're right with this lineup. I think Arteta will put him straight back in the team. But I do not think Xhaka should come straight back in the team. Celine, tell me, what do you think? Do you think Xhaka should be in the 11?
No, he should be starting 11. Even if he was he's considered as one of the important pieces for Arteta, but I think he's not fit for this game. He's been out for 1 month. He wasn't competing. Yeah. So, but we know Arteta and his madness. We know Granit Xhaka will start. For me, it's pretty much I mean, 100% done and dusted. Granit Xhaka will start. And then Pepe, I would like to see Pepe, but I think he's going to put Smith Rowe. I don't know if Smith Rowe is a good idea on the left wing. What do you think, Mo? Smith Rowe or Pepe?
I think, look, Pepe is more natural on the left wing than Emile Smith Rowe. I'm a big fan of Emile Smith Rowe. I would love to see him play, but if you ask me specifically about the left wing position, I think it should be Pepe. And then also, you look at Bukayo Saka. I know it's only AFC Wimbledon, but he came on against them and he played brilliantly when he came on. So I'm happy to see him on the right wing. But again, like for me, and I'm happy with Aubameyang as well. A lot of people want Lacazette. I'd like to know what the people watching this think, Lacazette or Aubameyang, what they prefer. But for me, I think Aubameyang is our main striker. And in games like this, we absolutely have to stick with him. Lacazette's a great option off the bench. But yeah, I'm just a bit disappointed that we all expect Xhaka to come in. And I hope Mikel Arteta proves us wrong and maybe plays Emile Smith Rowe. Or Tambi Lokonga if he doesn't want to be that adventurous. But we'll see.
حكينا على الستارتنج لاين اب، التشكيله المتوقعه يوم الاحد ضد سبيرز. كما شفتوا التشكيله هذيك اللي درتها تقريبا هذه تشكيله 99% كما دائما نقول لكم. بيبي يمكن ما نشوفوش، انا درتو بالك يدخل سميثرو. تشاكا غير خذوها من عندي، امسحوا فمكم. تشاكا راح تشوفون نهار الحد عوده تشاكا، لان على بالنا هو كيفاش يعتبروا ارتيتا، على بالنا شنو القيمه ديالو عند ارتيتا. دونك تشاكا راح يرجع في ستارتنج لاين اب. Mo, I don't wanna. We've done already 45 minutes. I really appreciate it. One last thing, what I was going to talk about. Last question, Mo. Do you think? Because I'm not convinced with the way we play. I think we don't have any identity. I don't enjoy us play, to be honest. Our football is boring, but still, I always have that hope. Do you think that the manager will turn it around? Do you think Arteta will turn things around, given that all the players are fit now? And because everybody's talking, but he didn't have, like last year. No, he didn't have a preseason. A lot of players with COVID, but sorry, COVID is for everybody. It's a global pandemic. David Moyes caught COVID twice, not once but twice. So everybody was kind of affected by this pandemic. But my last question: do you think he will turn it around?
I think he will improve slightly because it can't get much worse. So yes, I think he will improve, but I don't think in terms of a true turnaround, getting Arsenal to where we need to get to as a club, unfortunately, I think that job is beyond Mikel Arteta.
If he's to be replaced, what's the best choice for you? If he's to be replaced.
Sorry, can you say that again?
I said if he's to be replaced, what's the best choice for you?
If he was to be replaced, for me, there's Antonio Conte. I'm not sure Conte is maybe the right profile manager for the sorts of players that we've got. I think he prefers more experienced players. But then also Ten Hag from Ajax. I think he's a good choice. One person that I like is Gasperini. I think he plays really good football at Atlanta.
He does. Yeah.
So there's three. He's more of a gamble, more of a outfield choice. But any of those three, I'd say, okay, let's consider them.
هضرنا على ارتيتا. قلت واش تظن يعني يعاود يرجع كيفاش يقول لك، يعاود يرجع الفريق بقوه تحت القياده ديالو؟ اسكو تشوف بلي راح مع عوده كاع اللاعبين المصابين اسكو راح نشوفوا يعني تتحسن الامور؟ قال لك الامور راح تتحسن، ولكن ما راهش يشوف بلي هو اصلا ماشي يشوف بلي راح نروحوا معاه بعيد. كيما قلت لكم انا يعني تربح مباراه من تجيب ريزولطا من، ولكن باش تروح بعيد وتهضروا على المستقبل صعيبه بزاف باش تكون متفائل، لانه شفنا بلي فريق ما عندوش هويه. قلت له انايا رانا بورينغ، يعني تشوف الكره كي تشوف ارسنال ما تشوفش كره جميله، ما عندناش هويه، ما على بالناش اذا نلعبوا في الدفاع ولا نلعبوا بطريقه هجوميه. ولكن هذه هي. انا ما نطولش على مو باسكو عنده الولد راهو معاه وراه بوحده. نشكروه بزاف. مو one last word. Thank you very much. I really appreciate, brother, despite all the challenges with the little one.
I'm sorry about this, bro.
No,
honestly,
mashallah, may Allah bless him. Mashallah.
I was ill last night. I'm really struggling, and my wife did everything. You know, alhamdulillah, she was like just taking care of everything. She said, "Don't wake up at all. I'll deal with everything." She took care of me. And then whatever I had last night, I've obviously given to her today. So now she's really struggling today. So I didn't have the heart to wake her up. So I just thought, you know what, we'll do the podcast. This is his first podcast, actually, Salim. So
okay, so we're really lucky to have him on.
Yeah. So in the future, inshallah, if he's talking about Arsenal and he takes over from me, you guys will always be able to say we had him first. This was his debut.
Yes. Thank you very much, Moh. We really appreciate it, brother. We really appreciate your time. I know it's not easy. You're a busy man, like all we are, but we managed and we did it, and we're really happy. Hopefully, it's not the last time we'll have you on the channel.
Yeah.
It was a pleasure, and we'll catch up soon. I'll be flying to the UK, probably to watch a game. Maybe I will be on the Watford game at home. So I'll see you there. Yeah. Inshallah. Take care, man. Salam alaikum. كان معنا مو هذا يعني يعطيه الصحة بارك الله فيه. كان معاه وليده الصغير هذيك، والله رغم كل الصعوبات جا وطلع، قال لي مع الأولى، قلت له أنا معليش نأجلوها، ولكن نشكره بزاف بارك الله فيه. أنتم تاني يعطيكم الصحة اللي كنتوا معنا في الchat. ما تنساوش تبارطاجيو خاوتي، والاشتراك على القناة كالعادة. راهو عندكم الرابط في الchat. انا نقول لكم نرجع لكم بلايف بعد النورث لندن ديربي ان شاء الله، هوبفلي نكونوا ربحنا هذيك المباراة. الى ذلك من الحين تهلاو في روحكم خاوتي، and up the gunners. سلام.